what exactly is a quickening, and is it sexual? That question and so many more on today's Matinee Monday as we go back into the How Did This Get Made vault to talk about Highlander II, The Quickening. Hello, people of Earth, and welcome. I am Tall John, a.k.a. Paul Scheer, your host, guiding you through a little retrospective of classic How Did This Get Made episodes that have been behind a paywall for a very long time, and now we are taking them out and putting them back into the main feed. But before you just listen to an episode in our main feed, let's tell you a little bit about it, give you a little bit of a backstory to it, and play a clip from the episode, which we're going to do in just a second. This episode was recorded live at Largo with our friend Sam Richardson. You know Sam from The Detroiters, an amazing show. If you've not seen it, you have to watch it. Of course, Veep and The Tomorrow War. The dude's blowing up. He's in the Hocus Pocus 2 sequel. I mean, come on, this guy's got it going on. And I'll tell you one thing. It was good that Sam was there because Sam and I needed to explain what the Highlander did and what kind of was important to know from the first movie to the second movie. And you know what? After we explained all of it to Jason and June, it didn't make a difference. This movie is weird. Sean Connery trying on suits. I believe that was in the director's edition that I saw that not everyone else watched. We have questions about how Highlanders have money. Seems like Sean Connery has an excess of money, but where does it come from? We find out all about how these Highlanders live and die. This is a man who refused to take the Matrix because it didn't make sense to him, but went back time and time again to join Christopher Lambert for the fucking Highlander. Oh, man alive. This is a really fun episode, and if you thought What's Its Mission was a classic June moment, well, What's a Highlander is right up there with it. So take a listen to a little clip of Highlander 2, The Quickening.
Majority of this film I spent not understanding anything that was going on.
Okay, well, I'm so happy to hear that for this very reason. Early on into the movie, I realized something very important.
Okay.
I have never seen Highlander.
Yeah.
As such, I was like, oh, this must be all Highlander stuff that I'm not aware of because I didn't see Highlander.
Now
But I'm glad to hear that you guys also felt like it was absolute gobbledygook.
Well, let me tell you something, Jason.
Tell me, Paul.
If you were a Highlander fan, you also would not understand it because apparently what has happened is they decided, well, yeah, Highlander was good, but we can't just continue those characters. Let's just get rid of everything that we set up and create a brand new world.
Does Highlander take place in 2024?
No.
What?
This
is not the world of the first movie?
Not at all. I'm being very serious.
Whoa!
There is nothing about this movie that is like technically a sequel.
The first movie travel time?
Well, the first movie goes back to the days of
Olden
actual
days.
Highlanders.
Yes.
Okay.
But then it's just 1985 and then the 1500s or
Right, yeah, they go they're in the Scottish Highlands.
Yeah, exactly. Like Scotsmen.
But sometimes
Gotcha.
when they're in the Scottish Highlands, he's got a machine gun.
That made no sense.
I couldn't crack that at all.
Well,
That was like some Zardoz level nonsense.
well, it's interesting.
It isn't.
Well,
Whatever's about to follow, I guarantee is not interesting.
well, here's what I will put down, and I'll just throw it out there because I think it's worthy. Because there's probably some people who watched the Renegade edition, which is the director's cut, and there's some people who probably just watched regular Highlander 2, The Quickening. The big difference.
By the way, this all makes me sick. All these words make me fucking sick. Fucking hate this. I hate it.
The big difference that they made with this movie was that in the sequel, the Highlanders are from the planet Zeist, and they are coming from another planet to come to Earth.
What?
Yes. Now the Renegade cut
That's this
cuts
movie?
that out. Yes. They don't.
Wait,
This movie, they shot it, in theory, going interplanetary travel?
Yes.
As well as time travel?
So the Highlanders live in another planet and they
do.
come here.
So they don't live in the Scottish Highlands.
Which,
They
Not
live-
like
by
the
the
first
way,
movie.
Not like
that
the first
might
movie.
that might explain
Oh,
why
I
he
see.
had a machine gun, because that was not
Yeah, on that
olden
planet.
days. That was
Current Zeiss days.
current Zeiss
Yeah.
days, just on another planet.
No,
Okay.
See, I
Zeiss?
didn't know that watching this, and I'm so glad that all this, because I was watching that movie like I'm gonna do a bad job with this because I'm the only one who doesn't understand what's happening.
No,
I
this
felt
is yeah.
like I didn't understand why Christopher Lambert was old.
Lambert.
I didn't understand why he kept falling asleep in the opera. I didn't understand why the opera was being terribly lip synced.
Terrible. Like they spent so much money on that opera house, that stage.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Just get the fucking opera singer.
Just sing the fucking song. And then I also felt like he was flashing back to this other, now I'm realizing, planet where he is like the Neo of the Highlanders.
But the Renegade
This better
cut,
be
cuts
interesting.
the Renegade cut does not allow you in on that fact. Like you can't
What
get
is the
that.
Renegade cut?
The one that we watch. That's the director's version. The director was
You watched Renegade?
the best. Lorenzo Lamas? No.
Wait, that's the cut you watched, I mean?
Well, that's what it's called. The Renegade
Renegade
cut. If
cut.
you watched it on iTunes.
I
it's-
didn't.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't. I watched it on Hulu.
Oh. You might have watched. Well, we'll find. Well, if you don't know about the Zeiss, do you know about Zeiss?
I know nothing about
I
Then
don't
you
Zeiss.
know
probably
anything
watched-
about Zeiss.
Then if you watch the Renegade cut,
Oh.
you don't know about
Okay,
Zeiss.
yeah, okay. I was like,
Paul, what is Zeiss?
Stop it.
like,
I
What
hate
is
it.
Zeiss?
I will
A
just
lot
say,
of words I
this-
didn't
just
know
so
in
you
there.
understand like what's going on here that makes it
Oh, if
different.
you say Zeiss again, I'm gonna punch you right in the right in the nose.
I don't want to hear Zeist. I don't want to hear Renegade. I don't want to hear Quickening. I don't want to hear Highlander.
When we were,
We're gonna have a
when we
tough
were over
time,
there,
man.
when we were over there watching the trailer and it goes Highlander II, the Quickening. June goes, the Quickening? Didn't know that was the name of the movie. And I was like, I get it. Why would you?
Well, let's hear what the producer has to say about this movie and how you can enjoy it.
It's a sequel because the characters do pick up 25 years later from when the first movie ended, and we had to resolve those issues. But it's also a picture that stands completely by itself. It is a story that has a beginning, a middle, and an end, leaves us with an opening to go forward, again, for another picture. But if you've never seen the first Highlander, you should be able to, we felt, watch this one, understand it, and enjoy it.
You are wrong.
Absolutely not.
You can tell he's like sick of asking that question. Like,
I feel like he's-
I don't know.
Well, here's the problem. Then the first movie, Sean Connery dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that, yeah.
That's a big like part of the movie.
Yeah. and for the second movie, Christopher Lambert was like, well, I like Sean Connery. We should bring him back. And they're like, well, he's dead. He's like, well, I won't make this movie. And they're like, all right, we'll bring him back.
Was Highlander 2 that big of a success? I mean,
No.
Highlander 1,
Highlander.
I'm sorry. Did it necessitate this kind of, like everybody was clamoring for that Highlander sequel?
I don't have that research in front of me. Yeah. I would imagine that people want it. I mean, Highlander seems like a movie people talk about.
People talk about it. It had a great Queen soundtrack. Everybody
Yeah.
loved, you know. But I don't know if the TV show was inspired by like The Quickening or if it was from.
Well, it's like
what
a crazy
was,
idea.
what was
'cause
the
it's like
Highlander
you're-
about?
What?
What was the Highlander about?
Sam, you could probably take this
Yeah, I
more
think
than-
I'll don on the explanation hat. Connor McLeod.
Played by Christopher Lambert.
Played by Christopher Lambert, was a Scottish Highlander and the leader of a tribe. I can't remember the name of the tribe, but they're warring with another tribe. He's in
The
war.
Clan MacLeod. isn't
Clan
it?
that's the name of his clan, and he's
Oh,
fighting with
sorry,
Clan
yeah.
other guy. And then in a battle, he gets harmed, and then he recovers overnight, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's a witch." Turns out he's one of these Highlanders who cannot die unless their heads are removed.
But he didn't know that.
He didn't know.
So he's just finding out in the moment.
He's like, "What? Wait a minute! What's all this?"
Uh-oh, zoinks, I'm immortal.
And he like has
And then how does he get to 1985?
he's been living lives, not dying, And the way it is like two Highlanders. There can be only one. That means it's hard to explain.
Don't worry about it. One of these fucking nerds will help us
I know.
if we need it.
I want to see if I can do this. So like they have to all. There's a bunch of Highlanders who are these immortal beings who like, but then they do battle because there can be only one. They have to, so they all fight each other over time, and they kill each other by removing their heads. And then what happens is the quickening, where like electricity goes, and they gain like
that's the
power
quickening?
from these.
So they take like the essence of the dead Highlander.
Yeah, I hear people like, no, am I wrong? Is that not right?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Something's feeling right about
You know,
So they basically just took.
This isn't helping me understand the movie I watched any better. But like, thank you.
So Sean Connery's head is chopped off at the end of that movie?
yes, because he's a Spaniard who comes
He
in.
is.
He's
Ramirez.
Ramirez, who comes to like teach him the ways of the Highlander.
He is not a Spaniard at all.
And he teaches him like about Highlandering, and then has his head chopped off as a huge
Yeah, right. That's a
moment.
moment.
Like, oh no, now I've got to avenge my master.
It's
Just
like the
a
Obi-Wan
couple
Kenobi
more
moment.
questions.
Yes,
a couple
exactly.
more questions.
Yeah, uh-huh.
So, like, on a day-to-day basis, like, what does a Highlander do?
Like it's a lot of like wrist training for like a lot of spins like this.
They're warriors,
They're
though.
warriors.
Like,
They're warriors. It's like
but
conditioning.
then when
So-
not Highlanding, they are titans of industry.
That's it, people. If you want to listen to the full episode, you can. It's right now in our stream. If you want to listen to all of our episodes commercial-free, just sign up for Stitcher Premium. You can use the offer code BONKERS for a free month. That's new episodes. That's old episodes. That's episodes that are kind of exclusive to Behind the Paywall, including our old spin-off series like the Sylvester Stallone podcast and How Did This Get Made Origins, where we talk to people behind the scenes of these films. Anyway, if you like what you're listening to, subscribe to How Did This Get Made. Also, subscribe to this YouTube channel. I don't know why I looked up like I'm in the page. Is that what you're supposed to do? Like, hey, click here, click here. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, but join that, join our YouTube, and join our Discord at discord.gg/Paul Scheer to talk about all things How Did This Get Made and all things pop culture. We'll see you next week for another Matinee Monday.